Okay, we're clearly not on the Appalachian Trail just yet. In fact, I'm at home in Piha and Joe is working in the city today. But I thought, since the last time you'd have looked at a YouTube video from Kiwis in the woods, we had just been blown off Mount Washington. We were pretty tired and beaten up, but we had walked about 850 miles or 1,400 kilometres on the Appalachian Trail, and we were feeling really, really proud of our achievement. We came home, and the Appalachian Trail is a really hard thing to get out of your system, and we both have a strong sense of needing to finish what we start. And we've decided to go back to walk another 6 weeks this year. We are 6 to 7 weeks away from departing, and I thought I'd give you a bit of an overview, an update on what we've been up to for the last 9 months. We have, as ever, been pretty busy and active, but it's involved other things rather than just hiking. And also just mention that the part of New Zealand that we live in has been horribly affected by cyclones, but particularly Cyclone Gabrielle, who just went through our small community like a freight train. So Piha is still closed 5 to 6 weeks after the cyclone. We have to come through a police check to get into our community to prove that we're residents. And whilst people have lost their homes, which is just terrible, we've luckily been largely unaffected. But the thing that's really affected us, apart from our friends who have suffered real tragedy, is that all of the beautiful hikes and walks that we've done in Piha almost daily have been wiped off the face of the earth. So it's heartbreaking to see the destruction that's been wrought by Mother Nature around here. It's going to take a long time to recover. So we're just going to have to prepare for the Appalachian Trail in a different way. We've spent a bit of time this year in our new motorhome, travelling around, looking for adventures, but the weather's been against us. We were away when the cyclone hit, but when we got home, no electricity, and we had to wake up the next morning and in the light see what had happened. Just walking up to the end of North Piha, and we're right at the end, the bit where you walk up the track to the lookout, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to scan it, it never looks the same, but that side of the hillside has fallen off. And to give you some context, there's some people standing there, and that's the size of the slip. And I would say the Whites track is completely, that track is never coming back again. Woohoo! We've got power! As well as living at Piha Beach, Joe and I are lucky enough to have an apartment in the city. And it's been really great to be able to escape sometimes the intensity of living in an area that's been affected so much. So we found ourselves in the apartment in Auckland City the night before we headed off for yet another epic adventure in the build-up to our 2023 Appalachian Trail attempt. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Hey, Charge.
Flash, I haven't called you Flash for a long time.
I know. What's happening?
Oh, it's on the eve of another little adventure, or the start of another adventure.
Life's one big adventure with you.
A rolling stone never gathers moss.
That's so true. So, what's the next adventure?
Well, tomorrow we thought we'd just go for a little lazy marathon.
Is it a flat marathon?
No, it's up through the mountains, actually. It's a full marathon. But yeah.
42 kilometres of rolling hills.
Mountains.
Mountains.
So we're in the Southern Alps, in a place called Wanaka. And from Wanaka we go through the Motatapu ranges or ridge and end up down in Arrowtown. So it's pretty cool. It's absolutely stunning. Probably if you think about Lord of the Rings, it's exactly what it's about.
Have you been training hard?
I'm starting tomorrow.
Well, we might have an early night tonight and pick it up when we catch the plane.
I'm having a cup of tea.
Having a cup of tea, and then we'll head to the airport in the morning and it gets real.
Yes.
Okay, finally got to the front of the registration queue. We've got our bibs, 308 and 309, and now we're legging it back to our taxi, Aaron, who's waited for us while we've stood, whatever the English is, in a really long queue. It's both a cycling, a hiking and a running event, so there's people everywhere. 6:53 a.m. on Saturday the 4th of March, and we're just about to, well, I'm drinking coffee and I'm eating an oatmeal cookie at the moment. We've got our packs packed for a day's traversing across the mountains. So we're doing the Motatapu off-road marathon. It's 42 kilometres across the Crown Range in the south, in central Otago. We are going to be picked up by a bus at 8:15 and driven for about an hour and 45 minutes over to the other side of the Crown Range near Wanaka. Good morning, Charge.
G'day, Flash.
Number 308.
Motatapu Marathon. What do they call it? The off-road mountain marathon. So 42 kilometres today, 0 training.
And an injury.
And I have 2 toes, which I managed to rip the tendons off, which also ripped some bones off floating around in there. A little bit tender, but a few Voltarens, painkillers. What do they call it? Vitamin I.
Ibuprofen.
That's the one.
Yes, we know how that goes. So, how do you think it's going to go?
Oh, exceptionally well. I'm looking to win the race, which is against myself, not anyone else.
Indeed. And perhaps we might just look forward to the burger and beer at the end.
I think it'd be straight to the hard stuff today after the Puhoi beer.
Made a start. They had to change the start because, unfortunately, someone had a heart attack ahead of us, and it didn't look good. So we've just made a start. We've been walking for about less than a kilometre. All the runners are running past us, and we've got a long day ahead of us. We didn't start until about 11:30, so it's going to be a while till we make our way to Arrowtown. But look at that. Isn't that glorious? Walking with our friend Graham. Graham's based down here in Central Otago. And his people run through us. We're just continuing to walk at a steady speed. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but Joe's carrying a foot injury. He did something terrible to his ligaments, so we've got painkillers on board. We're just going to keep it a steady speed and just enjoy this. Just about to finish. We've probably got 100 metres left to go. Why, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. It's been a big day. And we've got 100 metres, a bit of applause, and the satisfaction of knowing. Thank you. That was quite a long walk. Thank you. Well done to you as well.
And Bridget Joe making their way down.
Here we go.
It's the poles in the hand. I've got the camera working on the phone, so maybe make a bit of noise here, Arrowtown.
Oh, come on.
Welcome them home. So come down the finishing chute.
Thank you.
Drum up a bit of noise and support. That's better.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Smiles are there. They get themselves down to the finish line to complete their day out.
Woo. We never did make it to that beer and burger. We in fact had a restaurant reservation for 7:30. We finished at 7:20 and we literally went straight from the finish line in our race bibs, our race gear with our hiking poles, walked into the restaurant, put our hiking poles under the table and ate a lot of food because we were It's a gloomy day at Piha Beach on, gosh, I couldn't even tell you what the date is. It's something like the 28th or 29th of March. This time last year, exactly a year ago, we had left to go to the United States. And in fact, we were at Harper's Ferry by now, just getting ready to leave for what we had planned was a flip-flop through hike of the Appalachian Trail. That didn't happen. We did 8 sensational weeks, finishing, well, I'm not sure whether we finished after Mount Washington or Mount Washington finished us, but we elected to come off the trail and do a roadie in a car from the east coast to the west coast for the month that we had left on our visa. A lot's changed. This year we do have a visa, and we could stay in the United States for 6 months if we wanted to, but we're not going to. Just family circumstances mean that it's appropriate that 6 weeks is long enough for us to finish the next third of the Appalachian Trail. So we've decided we're going to go to Georgia. We're going to start at the beginning and walk as far as we can for 6 weeks. And then next year, we'll just go back and fill in all the blanks, because it makes sense to finish this adventure at the end, at the top of Mount Katahdin. So we're going to save that for next year. So that's the plan. And we need to execute on a bit of training in order to deliver on the plan. But I'm excited. I'm really excited about what this year holds for Flash and Charge.